What's going on, guys? So I had a few requests to make a video on this thing. This is my H&K 417 Benghazi edition with a Polarstar Jack inside. And I had a few requests to show how I put the jack in, how I got the trigger and everything to work. And I really haven't shown you guys this gun much at all. So we're going to kind of go over it a little bit, crack into it. I'll show you guys the gearbox and how everything's working, why I did what I did. So I'm going to go ahead and take this thing apart so we can really start talking about it. Alright guys, so I got the 417 all apart, which is pretty self-explanatory. The only tricky part is you have to take off the selector switch, which I placed somewhere around here. You just have to make sure you get the selector switch off, and you gotta get the screw that is in the back in here behind the buffer tube off. Those are the only two things that you might have trouble with, but other than that, it's pretty easy. You don't have to take the mag catch out or anything. It just comes straight out. It's really simple. So anyway, here's the gearbox, and the reason I went with the jack in it was because I had one on hand. So I was going to build this thing from the ground up, AEG, just make this thing shoot crazy good with AEG parts, but that would have costed crazy money, and this gearbox shell is pretty terrible anyway. They are known for cracking, and you can get steel ones from Retro Arms, but then people were telling me that their quality control is not very good, and there's no guarantee if you'll get a good one from them anyway. So I had a Mark 18 with the Polarstar Jack in it. So what I did was I took the jack out of my Mark 18, put it in this gun, put all the internals from this gun into my Mark 18 with a few other spare, pretty good parts I had from another project I did. So I pretty much just swapped guns because this gearbox can't really handle the stress of regular AEG parts. Basically, when you do a jack, a lot of people have put full-on fusion engines in this thing, and it takes a lot of work to do. So I went with the jack just because I had one on hand and it was rather simple. You can either buy a jack that's set up for 417. It gives you a special trigger board that goes in here. It's kind of set up for it, but I had one already and I didn't want to drop the money on it, so I wanted to know if there was a simple way. So Rudy from Bingo Airsoft helped me out with this. He said that there's this board he makes, and it looks like this. I'll take some zoom in pictures of this. During video my camera doesn't seem to like to focus with this lens that I have on it up close. I'll have to get a better lens for up close shots. So basically what you do is this board allows you to pretty much Polarstar any gun because it makes it so you don't need a special trigger board. All you do is you take the contacts, there's a spot for your wire harness that goes in, and then there's a bunch of other spots here. It's set up to do anything. All these spots here are for if you have two solenoids. The jack only has one, so you only need one wire from the jack to go into its appropriate spot there. And then you have the trigger spot, which wires in, which I'll talk about that more in a second. And then I believe this red spot next to it is for solenoid number 2, and then this blue spot is for your full auto button. So by not having that full auto button wired, this gun is semi-locked, and I didn't need to modify the selector plate or anything. Like, it just doesn't do full auto because I don't have that micro switch to hit and it goes to that button. And then it's wrapped in electrical tape just because it's a circuit board and I don't want it shorting out if it hits the gearbox in any special way. Rudy recommended that you wrap it in electrical tape, so I took his advice. It's all wrapped up and safe. So easy enough, the jack goes in, and then we'll talk about the trigger. So all you gotta do is you gotta have a little knowledge of how to solder, and you just solder the positive and the negative to where it used to go. So it's basically like a standard AEG trigger where you got the sled going into the two grooves, just making the connection. So I mean, it's not micro switch, you can't really fine tune it, but honestly I wasn't that worried about it. I had all the parts on hand, and then this little micro switch board was like, I don't remember. I can get you guys the link. I'll put it in the description for you so you could do this build if you so desire. The 417 just uses a standard M4 style nozzle, so I didn't have to get any special nozzle. So overall, this build was super simple, and I also wanted to show you guys to make it look super clean. I got the in grip well, not in grip, the base plate connector. So Redline makes one of these, and so does Valken. This is Valken's because the Redline one was out of stock at the time that I ordered. I actually have an unused Redline as well sitting over here because I ended up getting one after. I was going to put it in a different gun. I ended up getting one, and I wasn't sure if this Valken one would work. So all I did was I had to drill a larger hole in my base plate here, and then just threads through, and then you get this nice giant bolt on the other side, and it just sits in there. So then when you pop it down, it just screws right in. Your tube just goes right in the line. I had to shorten the line. Super easy. So overall, this build was not that bad at all. You know, the parts, they just fall right in. I had a jack on hand, which made it super easy. That's why I went with the jack in the first place. I am not super happy with the FPS capabilities of the jack. Definitely probably a better choice to go with for a sniper setup. But like I said, I had the jack on hand. I was trying to keep this low cost. I'm taking this gun to Bad Blood, where I can only shoot 400 FPS with .25s anyhow. So we're doing fine. I wanted to be able to shoot 500 FPS with .25s, which the jack it can't get there. I was doing like 450 with 2.5s. So I mean, I was a little short, but the jack does just fine for what I needed to do, and everything works out flawlessly. And then for my barrel setup, in case anybody's wondering, I have a stock VFC barrel that hop up that this gun comes with. It's flat hopped with the modified flat hop hub nub, and this is a Mad Bull 6.01 barrel, and it seems to be shooting fine. I just gotta get some really heavy BBs for it. I'm looking at getting .4s or .43s for it. So I'll have to do more videos about this gun in the future. I'm gonna get it all back together. I'll definitely be doing more videos on this gun, as well as another gun that I'm gonna be doing videos on that I actually had to clear off my desk to make this video. So I just need a few other parts for another project I'm working on to show you guys. But overall, this gun, my 417 here, it's shooting great. I'll definitely get you guys some more videos about it before Bad Blood, as well as we'll get some Bad Blood videos when Bad Blood rolls around. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions for me, I'll leave a link for this little circuit board in the description so you guys can find it. So hopefully you guys can figure this out. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope this helped. So I'll see you guys later.